The top 10 most fascinating unsolved mysteries in America. Everybody loves a good mystery, and unsolved mysteries are all the more captivating. With that in mind, here are the top 10 unsolved mysteries in America that may just stay that way forever. And like always, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. 10. The Boston Heist Paintings. The world's biggest unsolved art heist happened almost 30 years ago, and we're still no closer to finding out what happened to all that priceless art. It happened on the night of March 18th, 1990, when two art thieves disguised as police officers tricked security guards at Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They fooled the security guards into letting them in late at night. They then handcuffed the guards and made off with 13 famous paintings. Amongst their loot was famous work from artists like Rembrandt with his famous Christ in the Storm on the Sea of the Galilee, Vermeer's The Concert, and Flint with Landscape with an Obelisk. In total, it is estimated that the pair made off with over $500 million worth of art. Since then, there have been a lot of crazy ideas about who masterminded this unsolved mystery, ranging from mobsters to a Californian screenwriter, from the Irish Republican Army to South Boston gangster James Whitey Bulger. But so far, there have been no promising leads. However, the museum hasn't given up hope of finding the lost art yet. In January, they extended indefinitely their $10 million reward. This goes for anyone who helps to recover the missing masterpieces. Until then though, it remains one of the art world's top unsolved mysteries. 9. Kryptos. Standing outside of the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, you might notice a peculiar looking statue. Standing at around 12 feet tall and made out of curved copper, this statue was first unveiled in 1990. Named Kryptos, which is an ancient Greek word for secret or hidden, it contains 1,800 characters on 4 encrypted messages, 3 of which have already been solved. But it's one of these messages that remains one of the top unsolved mysteries today. Jim Sanborn, the sculptor who created it, revealed another clue in 2014. He mentioned something to do with Berlin and a clock. Trust me, we don't get it either. But that hasn't stopped thousands of professional and amateur cryptographers still trying to decode this final unsolved mystery, which is frustratingly just 97 letters long. 8. Beale Ciphers. Well, this one sounds like one of those old Western legends that you should really take with a grain of salt. The story goes that in the 1800s, a Virginian named Thomas J. Beale discovered a fortune. Legend has it that he came across a whole load of gold and silver while hunting for buffalo, just north of Santa Fe, New Mexico. He then took the treasure back to Virginia and buried it there, somewhere near Bedford County. As a makeshift treasure map, he wrote 3 encrypted messages, each of which held secrets to finding his massive fortune worth an estimated $43 million in 2019. He left the letters with a friend and Beale died taking the secrets with him. The letters were then published in 1885 as the Beale Papers. The search has been ongoing ever since. So far, only one of the ciphertexts has been cracked, which revealed the contents of Beale's treasure, but not where to find it. Of course, there are plenty of theories floating around, including what we're all thinking, that the whole thing might have been a hoax by Edgar Allan Poe. 7. The Phoenix Lights. What exactly did people see over the skies of Phoenix on March 13th, 1997? Was it a secret military spacecraft? A natural phenomenon? Or perhaps alien visitors from another galaxy? Whatever it was, thousands of Arizonians saw the unusual lights in the sky, which is said to have looked like a huge upside-down V that moved slowly overhead making no sound and occasionally stopped to hover over one location. It was either the size of several football fields or, depending on who you ask, a mile wide. Even Escape from New York actor Kurt Russell saw the strange light show while landing his private plane in Phoenix. Whatever it was that all those people witnessed, the official explanation is that it was just military flares. It had such a profound effect that many of those who saw gather together every year in the foothills of the McDowell Mountains outside of Phoenix to talk about their experience and try to figure out what happened. 6. D.B. Cooper. On November 24, 1971, a guy known only as D.B. Cooper boarded Northwest Airline Flight 305 for a short flight from Portland to Seattle. He then hijacked it using a briefcase that he claimed contained a bomb. In Seattle, he released all 36 passengers and then demanded that authorities give him $200,000 and several parachutes. Then he instructed pilots to fly to Mexico and remain slow and fly low to the ground with the rear doors unlocked. That was the last time anybody saw him. Did he jump successfully from the plane and escape with thousands? Nobody knows for sure. In 1980, a boy in Portland uncovered bundles of cash in a sandpit, worth around $5,800 and matching the serial numbers of the missing cash. The FBI have claimed that Cooper couldn't have survived the jump, but they issued a new composite in 2017 of what he may look like today, which doesn't sound like something you'd do if a suspect is assumed deceased. 5. The Zodiac Killer. San Francisco police have investigated 2,500 suspects since the 1960s, but they're still no closer to finding the so-called Zodiac Killer, terrorizing the San Francisco Bay Area for several decades and murdering at least 7 people, although he claimed to have at least 37 victims. He sent taunting letters to the police and the press with encrypted messages that promised clues to his identity and chilling messages about his victims, claiming that they went to slaughter like lambs. He also made note of his own mental health, claiming he isn't sick and that he is in fact insane. It's been 44 years since the killer last made contact, and there have been no notable leads. A man claimed in 2014 that his deceased dad was the killer, but this case remains cold and one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in the world. 4. Area 51. You could say Area 51 is the pinnacle of unsolved mysteries. Just how famous is it? Ask anyone what they think it is and most people will probably tell you, oh, that's where the government keep all their space aliens. This remote Air Force base is in the middle of the Nevada desert. It's about 150 miles from Las Vegas and has been the subject of some weird rumours over the years. There's the alien conspiracy, of course, which dates back to 1947 when an extraterrestrial craft supposedly crashed in Roswell, New Mexico, and the ship and alien bodies were supposedly brought back to the base and studied. But that's the least of the secrets going on at Area 51. There are some wild rumours, including that the government secretly control our weather from here, and even that time travel machines are being developed here. Peter Merlin is an author and historian who has been investigating Area 51 for over 3 decades. He believes that the forbidden aspect of Area 51 is what makes people want to know what's there. 3. Amelia Earhart. The last time anybody saw pioneering aviator Amelia Earhart was during the summer of 1937. She boarded her Lockheed Electra 10E plane and attempted to fly around the world with just her and her navigator Fred Noonan. She vanished without a trace and US authorities speculated that she probably crashed somewhere in the Pacific. But the rumours have persisted that she survived whatever happened to her plane. There have been photos of her allegedly alive and well on a dock in the Marshall Islands years after she supposedly perished. However, that story was soon debunked. Recently, bones found on a Pacific island back in 1940, which were originally thought to belong to a man, have been retested, and these are very likely Earhart's remains. In a few years, one of the world's favourite unsolved mysteries could very well be case closed. 2. The Ghost Road. Weird floating lights have been seen all over the country. But there's something different about the mysterious light floating near the railroad tracks in Gurdon, Arkansas. For one thing, it isn't elusive. It's not part of a local legend because some kids saw it once and everybody has to take their word for it. The Gurdon light has appeared for hundreds of people, and some townspeople have seen it so many times that it's become part of ordinary life there. There's no rational explanation for the light, but there are legends. One of which says that a railroad worker was hit by a train and decapitated, and the light comes from a lantern as his ghost continues to walk the tracks, looking for his disembodied head. Or it may be a ghost of a railroad foreman, murdered by one of his employees with either a railroad spike or hammer. The light started to appear shortly after the crime, which is why the story continues to be a popular one. Either way, the Gurdon light proves to be one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in the world. 1. Bird deaths in Arkansas. On New Year's Eve in 2010, in the small town of Beebe, Arkansas, 5,000 blackbirds freaked out, slamming into buildings, telephone poles, trees, and all dying instantly. It was disconcerting when it happened, but at least there are plausible explanations. Celebratory fireworks had spooked the birds, according to Arkansas officials, causing them to fly all over the place. It was a one-time occurrence that would never happen again. Except it happened the very next year, on New Year's Eve 2011, despite the ban on fireworks in BB to make sure that there weren't any more mass bird casualties. Only 200 birds died this time, but that didn't make it any less bizarre. Theorists developed crazy ideas as they usually do for unsolved mysteries, including that the birds' deaths were an ominous omen about the Mayan calendar, signalling the end of the world, which of course turned out not to be true, but no explanations that really made sense came forward. If in fact the birds were freaked out by fireworks, why weren't New Year's Eve bird deaths more common? And how do you explain a second year in a row of birds falling from the sky? It hasn't happened since, but the mystery of what killed all those birds remains a chilling riddle. If you enjoyed the video, then please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel if you're new. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.